speed to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun, as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. It laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlight, the summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay on forever. We'll never have regrets. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.
Good afternoon. It's 2 p.m. here in Central Europe. And it's a shitty weather outside, to say the least. It's rainy, or it's a mixture of cloudy and rain, and then, yeah, showers. And on top of that, when it's dry, and I thought, oh, I can get some fresh air into the house. When you open the door, it's definitely not fresh outside because somebody, farmer, decided to spread the manure in the fields. And I'm like, I don't feel that I live on a countryside, but I feel I do when I open the door today. So it's one of those days where you're just like, I'm locked up indoor, I guess. So yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, Jessica. Happy to have you here. Good afternoon. Hello, and please also greet my dear father. Hey, Rev. Good morning. Yeah. So well, as you can hear, it's kind of one of those days. Good morning to Colorado. Hello. Danny, the Cube Master, is hanging on here as well. And good morning to Megan. So yeah, well, Heart Collectors Shawl is kind of what's on the program today. What a surprise. Or not. I mean, it's not a big surprise right now. But yeah, so we will see how it goes today. As I said, it's a bit of a messy weather at the same time, and that's important to say. If I suddenly, instantly pop off, know that it is because that the people here in the street, well, we have some big masts transporting power, those big power lines with the high voltage power lines. So not the ones that goes into the house, but the one that kind of distributes into the cities. Those high voltage lines, which is running about 300 meters from here, they are taking them down because they have ducted all down to and into the earth, so it's not in the air. and they're going to take them down, and they're going to do that this month, and they're kind of like started this week. So if I suddenly go away, I guess somebody did something wrong down there, and then power is gone. Just pre-warning, if I suddenly go away, then it's not my fault. And yes, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. And Megan says I'm making good progress of it. I hope it. We're getting to kind of like row, well, I am in row 50 right now, and I'm heading towards row 51. I have a mess, literally a yarn tangle. My goodness. Let's see here. So we're down here heading towards, this is the tip. So I am on the kind of like, well, that's a tip, but I'm on the first half, almost down there. And that I believe is just what we're going to continue with. And as I said, it is actually now really slowly so big that at least it's cooler today, because it would have been warm to sit with otherwise. And we're just gonna crack on with this. We already did have the color change, so we are currently doing the 3-color flamingo and 1-color coral. And I am gonna flip you guys down to the dual view here. Ta 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 ta. About, I think, bit higher. I tend to kind of end up bringing everything to the end of it. Anyhow, my F hook, so 3.75 millimeter, and then we're just gonna crack on. Row of 50. Rove says either the power went out or the alien at production. Yeah, oh, that could happen, definitely. Jessica says they should do that here. The weather is always unpredictable, and it seems lines needs to be replaced, but they only fix them. Yeah, I think what they concluded here is that due to, so the power lines were put up many years ago. I don't remember when they haven't been there. They've always been there for as far as I've been here. So they're at least 18 years old, if not older. And I think that one of the reasons that they're doing it is now here in, rather than back then, more people are driving electrical cars. So they improved the whole power network in the ground to be able to supply the electricity for people to charge their electrical vehicles at home. And therefore, they are now slowly becoming more obsolete, and therefore they decide to put it into the ground. I know in Denmark, a lot of these power lines were also placed into the ground, but that was after we had a big hurricane. Well, big, for Danish terms, big hurricane back in 2004. And therefore, lots of old of these power lines went down and crashed and so on for the winds. And when they started fixing them, instead they decided to put it into the ground. So they had like a long period after where they were like digging everything down to the ground. I barely remember the electrical wires in the air, except for the very big ones, maybe. But in Denmark, you will see very few electrical wires, and if you go to a place like Vietnam, you will see them everywhere, and you would be like, "Isn't it a bit dangerous to be here?" So yeah, I guess that's just how things change, and life progresses or something like that. I like the fact that they are in the ground, but I also, some people say that they may actually be more efficient up in the air. It has to do with wear and tear and materials and what's more efficient and stuff like that. But I guess, well, they will only know, right? Downside is, of course, if the power line breaks, they will have to dig it up to figure out where and how, but it won't blow away due to the wind. Good. Where are we? Row 50. We did that, and then we have 12, so that's going to be 13. Okay. Yeah, what is everybody working on today? That is a good question, Rev. Surprise, Heart Collectors Shawl. because we got to do that. It is already June 3rd, and I am cracking on with it. I did, though, actually, last night end up frocking back on my bucket hat because I concluded I wouldn't have enough yarn to finish the size I was making, so I'm going to make a size smaller, and that should be enough yarn. I did that yesterday. It was only like 6 or 7 rows of frock back, but still, it's annoying. And I did work a little bit on this, but generally I was doing a bunch of other practical stuff. Today, I will be out of the house this evening, so I won't have time to craft after or later, maybe very late, but usually I'll get back very, very late. So I don't know if I may have a little short time between dinner and me leaving, but that's kind of going to be it, except for what we're doing right now. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Fits, matches. Awesome. Jessica's working with a lace. Meanwhile, Rev says he finished up the Madonna blanket and had to cut 2 Madonna bonus bundles and made a start on this hexicard. Working with both halves simultaneously, I have a medium grey as the center of my hexagon. Oh, exciting. I will work through the blues and then end with the dark grey as the edging. I have a third cake if I need. We are looking forward to the end result. The only downside with these mandala cakes is that you need to cut the colors, right? Color controlling. But the thing is, color controlling just makes so much a nicer result, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. And then for that, I got appointments coming up and everything, and oh my goodness, time is just not fully on my side, if that makes sense. So I need to figure out how to prioritize. I need to prioritize a bit better than I have been doing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Sweet. Center is probably then 15, I would imagine. Yep. That will head into 15. I was not meant to be worn. If it was not meant to be worn in office, I would just do the colors as they would, but it needs must. So I made a bunch of small cakes. Well, I guess it sounded like you had fun ripping the cake apart and making small cakes from it. I still need to figure out if I have to be at an event Saturday or if I can just sleep at home and do stuffs. That's not completely decided. It also, I guess, depends a little bit on what's gonna happen with a few other things. That is not something I know right now. Da, 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 da. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, so we're just cracking on. Maybe we'll start on row 41 this stream. Not completely impossible, given the fact that we are only having a half row left, but I mean, these take forever. And therefore equally looking more and more gorgeous. If I had more DK yarn in stash, I would just have used solid skeins rather than going through all this trouble, but I have a bit of a hobby DK yarn that was meant for a silly thing and these mandala cakes. But she likes how it's going, and this yarn is incredibly soft. Oh yeah, well, when you need to wear something, it is nice if it's soft, isn't it? You know, bottom line is that's what we would prefer, all of us. It helps with sensitive skins. It's when it's soft. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Oh, sweet. We are officially into the second half of this row. Do. Yep. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. And when we get to the others, it's gonna be 11 double crochets on each side. Yeah, honestly, right now, this is mainly just a bunch of double crochets and then occasionally some chains. So the shawl itself looks intimidating, but it is actually a lot simpler to do as long as you read the pattern. The pattern, for those who's curious, is in the description box down below. I've linked to where you can buy the pattern on a Ravelry out of respect for the creator. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. So yeah, it's Wednesday, and there's a few things coming up on my agenda this week. And then we will see how much extra we can reach to do. Dun, dun, dun. I've found most things are not too difficult if the pattern is well constructed. Valid. It all depends on how it's explained sometimes, right? And some people just can't explain very well, and others can explain very well. It's very difficult in the sense of it's very different, is what I meant, as to how people elaborate their things. Dun, dun. In 2 weeks' time, I have to head to the office in Amsterdam for work. We also have a goodbye lunch with a colleague of mine who is leaving. And I am curious as to if I will reach to do other things while I'm in Amsterdam or not, but I wouldn't know before knowing how long that takes. And it doesn't really have an ending time, so it is reasonably an open thing. So I am just gonna, how can I say it best? Take the adventure as it comes. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. But if I feel I have extra time, then I may see if I can find a yarn store in Amsterdam. They have some, and I will go have a visit there. But it's not a promise, because I don't know the time I will have when there. But if I would have extra, then that would be pretty nice to have a little visit there. And no, not to buy, just to see, just to look. Because else Susan will get after me. Hello, Jan Formore. Welcome to the live today. I've gotten a lot better at reading written patterns this year. It was one of my hobby goals to expand out. Now I almost prefer a written pattern unless it's a complicated construction. Eventually, I usually only need to see the stitch placement once or twice and I am good. Lots of new people today. Indeed, there's a few people today. There's also a few other people's yarns and more we've seen before. I am still working on the Heart Collectors Shawl, which is a big project. It takes 3,000 meters of yarn. 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. This is where we attached another color. So now we are actually, yes, you're from India, that's right. This is where I attached this cake I'm currently working with. So that means that currently a color change is about half a side of the pattern. Holy smokes. So at some stage we will get so far out with so many stitches that I might not even be able to make one row with the same color. Woohoo. We'll have to see how it goes. I'm just cracking on right now. I mean, that's surprised me a little bit if it's gonna be that crazy. Well, but as I said, we'll just take it as it goes. I'm not gonna weave in those ends just yet. I will first probably do that when I come back here. So in 2 rows time, approximately, to ensure I didn't make any mistakes that would cause me to need to frog, and therefore certainly wouldn't be able to, because I somehow managed to weave in the ends along the lines of where I also frogged, and that just becomes a messy mess. Yeah. I actually got some gifts from India, now when we're talking about India, about a week and a half ago. A friend of mine, she came from New Delhi to the event I was hosting in Belgium, and she had brought some gifts, so I actually got a few gifts, but it's laying over there. I got a bracelet in jade with the green jades, and I got a dromedaries for essence, and I got a pin with the Indian flag. Very kind of her. I had not expected to get small gifts. Anyhow, so we are still cracking on. We should have 11 here. 2, 4, 6, 10, 8, 10, 11. We do. And my yarn is turning and spinning. That is from that side. Then we have another one up back here that I'm also not going to weave in yet, but I will do it when I get back there from the other side. Da-da-dum-da-dum. But yeah, June 3rd, it's my auntie's birthday today. I did send her birthday wishes, though I'm sure she is at work. Mm-hmm. 2, 4, 6. Wait again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Technically, I shouldn't be able to make mistakes here as long as I ensure my stitch count on each side is correct and I don't add extra stitches at the bottom. So far, I haven't. So we should be fine to hopefully not need to frog this side. Unless I make other vital mistakes. But let's try to not do that. I shall promise you guys to start working on my Amazon wish list as well this weekend. Maybe should have some time. Just like I needed to sort the things for the website. So I definitely do have a few projects I need to face. Mm-mm-mm. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. The wife went to go to see the back rooms last night with her daughter and the daughter's boyfriend. They had a good time, fun movie if you like suspense. That sounds like something for my partner. Apparently it was #1 movie at the box office last week. Okay, which is wild considering there was is a Star Wars film out. I guess at some stage people maybe gotten too tired of the Star Wars. I don't know. That reminds me. But I think it's either today or tomorrow. Let's see. It's today. But I'm not going to watch today because I definitely don't have time today. I have been watching the last couple of years, 2 years or so. I think 2. Yeah, 2 years. I've been watching The Clarkson's Farm. I have to say that is freaking hilarious. It's basically former Top Gear presenter Jeremy Clarkson, who's gotten this farm he purchased and is becoming a farmer, but technically he's more of a journalist. And he makes all sorts of mistakes and challenges, and sometimes things are just happening in this, which is a good laugh. And I have to say, what can be said about him, he's definitely doing a good job for getting British farming more attractable, and this concept of buying your produce locally and all that stuff. And I think it's definitely better also for the environment if we can buy more local stuff. Reality is just also often our wallet speaks for us, and we will then quicker look at the price and purchase what's cheapest rather than looking at what is reared closer to us, due to those prices often being more expensive. Because everybody wants to have more salary, but nobody wants to pay anything, right? But I guess reality is just that the farmers also want to get paid. They also need to make a living. 8. Like they don't necessarily farm for fun. But yeah, that is a whole other discussion. If there is an A24 film and it was made for $10 million and it has already got nearly 100 million in 5 days, then somebody did a good job, I would say. That's my conclusion here. Somebody did a good job. Do, 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 do. Sometimes I also wonder if too many millions are spent on movies. I mean, is it a necessity to pay a movie star 10 million for their job? I mean, I wouldn't mind doing my job for 10 million, but I'm quite sure my employer is not gonna pay that to me. Oh, I did too many stitches here. I just went into the flow, which I shouldn't have completely, at least. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. It just feels a bit ridiculous what some people earn compared to others for the same efforts. I definitely get if there's a lot of responsibility that you need to make more, but I mean, 10 million, that's insane. Or even more for that matter. Or the people that plays in series and they get like 500,000 per episode. It's not like it's taking them years, where the rest of us will probably have to work years to get the same kind of money. Which is the sort of weird thing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. The same could be said for sporters, right? Like footballers being paid millions a year to play football. Makes zero sense. Hey, Susan, good morning. As Reverend says, we've been good and we're working from our stash. I am still trying to de-stash these 3 cakes on my Heart Collectors, so definitely working hard on that. The big question is if I will make it and have it finished before the end of June. We are trying. I have an exact 3 weeks to do so, not 4 weeks to do so. I don't know if I'll make it, but I will try. I will try my best and hope it's gonna be enough. If it's not, then that's just how it's gonna be. I don't know. Do you think I'll make it? I mean, the cake's looking like this now. And here we have a color change. But yeah, I have 3 of them. Of course, these rows takes a bit longer, but they do also use a bit more yarn because of all the double crochets I need to work in, right? Two, 4, 6, 8, 11. Take care for yarn for more. I hope you're going to have a great day. Color changes are the best. They are, except I already did this color change, which I'm currently working on Monday, and I have 2 more cakes I need to go through. I didn't work enough to get that far. I did work a bit on it, but I did genuinely mainly do other things. Plus, I frogged the hat back and redid it. Like, I frogged, I think it was 6 or 7 rows back on the bucket hat. Because I was looking at it and I was looking at how much yarn I had and I was looking at how much I had to go and I was like, no, Stina, you won't have enough yarn. Nope. You have to frog back and do a smaller size. Henceforth, I frog back and I'm doing now the size smaller again. And with a bit of luck, that should be enough yarn. You're not wearing a sweater, you for the warm. The sweater's right here. It's a bit humid today. I think that's probably why. It's not exactly warm. But I did have it a bit warm when I started the stream. So it could be that I will end up wearing it. I do have lemonade, not the sparkly one. And I do have tea, but I think it's a bit too warm to drink. This is a Chinese black tea with some rose petals in it. I believe it's named Chinese Spring. Anyhow, the weather for Nijmegen, which is not so far from here, is cloudy with a temperature of 66 degrees Fahrenheit, about 19 degrees Celsius. The wind is blowing from southwest at 14 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 66. Technically, it's just say it's cloudy and showers. It's a mixture of cloudy and showers, because that's what the weather here is. In New Jersey, it's sunny with the same temperature as here in the Netherlands. The wind is blowing from north-northwest at 7 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 51. In Owego, its conditions are sunny with a temperature of 70 degrees, so 21 degrees Celsius. The wind is blowing from north-northwest at 5 miles per hour, and it is very humid. So yeah, maybe they did put that temperature measurement close to the water, because it's always humid at your place. I don't think I've ever seen it below 70. 4, 6, 8, 10. 11, yep. Turn and continue. I mean, it always seems super humid at your place, Ref. But I'm not so sure if it's in reality is. I am, though, getting a little bit chill feeling, so I may end up taking on my t-shirt. Could be just because I was doing a bunch of things when I was sitting down. I did wear it this morning, then I took it off about 2, maybe 3 hours ago. So it kind of depends on how I feel. But I definitely don't have a blanket, though my feet says I could use some socks. I am just in my slippers. 6, 8, 10, 11. And a part of that is, yeah, I just enjoy chilling a bit. The weather in Quebec is conditions are fair with a temperature of 61 degrees Fahrenheit, so about 16 degrees Celsius. The wind is blowing from west at 4 miles per hour, and the humidity is 54. Conditions are fair. So not sunny, not cloudy, fair. What's the difference? Fair isn't bad, but it's also not apparently amazing as sunny might be. Just my 5 cents. Interesting description. Yeah. We are just cracking on with our projects today. As I said, I did frog back on the bucket hat. So now I have a roll of yarn plus the other skein. It's perfect for behind the telly. That is, if it wasn't because I frogged 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. It is right now, for those curious, looking like this. I have my row counter, 4.5mm hook, and we frog back. So this is definitely gonna be a child size bucket hat. Yeah, that's the one I rounded up as a ball, and I have another skein. This is a full skein including the ball, so it's not like it has lots of yarn. I do like the rainbow colors on it. It's a bit fresh. I actually have a finished bucket hat also laying here from the other collection, which is a grown-up size. Here we have it. Maybe that will work on top of my almost. Almost. I do have my hair put up, so that's not really bucket hat friendly, but almost. Almost fits. So it's basically going to be similar as to this, but in a smaller size. And then I'll take photos and I'll throw them up the website once done. And I will have to get the last few bits and bobs done to launch, because as I mentioned 2 weeks ago, I think, the Dutch Post is now actually accepting prepaid tariff. So I can set up parcels and I can prepay tariffs in advance so that the packages won't be held in the post on arrival, and people will get unexpected high tariffs to pay. Hopefully that should work. And then I can open up again for shipping to the US. That would be awesome. That would be really awesome. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Do, 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 do. Wait. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Rev says, Dean, here's the donation blanket I was working on last stream. I really like how it came out. So let's go have a sneak peek. Ta-ta! Oh, that's nice. I like this. I really like those kind of green sandy colors. And the white goes great with it. I love this one. Genuinely is a nice one. It's a nice piece. Could pop it up for a little bit bigger picture for those that is curious. I mean, I love this variegated greens and sandy ones. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Susan is asking if it's 2 rows every color. The vintage is a small fib at is it's 19 years old rather than 20, but close enough for jazz. True. And yes, it is a 2 rows each color. Though center is 4 rows. Four, 6, 8. Something is wrong. Yeah, I skipped a stitch. I skipped a stitch. See, and this is why if I can do that like for every, try imagine only needing to frog 8 stitches back rather than needing to frog 400 stitches back. Yeah, now you get why I count so much. The size we have reached now is, I will cry out loud if I have to frog back a long way. It's way too many stitches, and that's feeling like a waste, basically, because you just worked X hours to get there, and then you can just rip it all out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Now it fits. That jam was very busy, so it needed a solid neutral to calm it down a bit. The suggested project they had on the ball was, in my opinion, ugly as fuck. Well, now I'm curious what pattern they had suggested. I mean, apparently you can get ugly stuff. Dun, dun, dun. Give me a second. I will get a picture of the project suggested. Okay. I mean, I'm just curious. And hopefully we offend nobody. I mean, it's not very kind when people say, "Oh, it's ugly as fuck." Oh. On the other hand, unless you kind of know it, like I know with my emotional support chicken that I made, which got me back into crochet, that's ugly as fuck. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. You've seen that one. And in 2 years' time, I will crochet a new emotional crochet chicken in chenille yarn with the exact same pattern. And I'm going to conclude again if I still think it's ugly as fuck, because if it is still ugly as fuck, then it's a pattern and not me. I mean, I've improved. The chicken has improved a bit, but not at a stage where I'm like, okay, it's good. That's my thoughts. Thank you, Jessica. Jessica has sent us a super chat. And of course, we do celebrate super chats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jessica says, I've done a few emotional support chickens. Oh, Jessica, I actually need to pick them up just to let you guys see. And that is a very good excuse for me to also quickly use the toilet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I'll be right back in like 2 minutes because I know exactly where it is. Maybe 3. I'll be right back. And I'll bring my 2 emotional chickens with me just for the laugh of it. Yeah. So hang on, guys. Hang on.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just 2 hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be 2 hearts running wild. The morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just 2 hearts running. Never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be 2 hearts running wild.
Meanwhile, I have to disappoint Susan. Vest is back on. Emotional support chickens. Oh my goodness, I did push something away. Let's see what I should be doing. Is flip that one over. It's a little bit darker, but hey. Here we are. With the tail. That is the original one. The one that got me back into crochet 4 years ago. It's made in a cheap acrylic and a crochet hook size that should probably have been sized down. I only had the fitting that came with it. It was bought as a package together. At the same time, when you look at the price that paid for that package, I mean, I think it was 4 or 5 euros, so it wasn't a fortune. That was including yarn, filling, pattern, and a plastic crochet hook, which I ended up buying metals to actually be able to finish this guy because the plastic I couldn't work with. But I mean, and it even has a hole because somehow, I don't know. So you like kind of work from top to bottom, I believe it is, or is it opposite? I don't remember anymore. But yeah, somehow it's not matching. But that is the one. And then last year, for my 3-year anniversary, I made it again, but I had bought good cotton yarn. So this is the same chicken, but in cotton. And there's a bit size difference, of course, because it's not the same yarn. I did size down, it was a 3mm needle, crochet hook for that one. My goodness, color's horrible. It is a bit orange, but not as orange what's really showing on the screen right now. And I mean, it looks better for sure, but genuinely still looking at it, it has no hold down there, so that skill of me is improved. But I mean, you know, I think it's the pattern, generally speaking. But I'm gonna try to make him in chenille in 2 years' time for the podiversary to celebrate that, the podiversary that is. And when I do, we'll see if that's actually just a pattern. But I really think it's just a pattern. So these are ugly. This is ugly, or this one is ugly, and this is uglier. And soon I'll have ugly, uglier, and ugliest. That's okay. That's not me. That is definitely, in this case, it's the pattern and the quality of the materials provided, which wasn't my fault because I just bought a kit. This one is the pattern. But I mean, and this may be also a bit skills because, you know, I was just remembering how and what. But I mean, my goodness. My goodness. Bad. Really bad. Ah. Susan has seen that Joanne the Anarch's back. I hope you had a good vacation. Good morning, Lisa. And indeed, if you haven't already liked the stream, please do like it. It helps me a lot. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Susan thinks that they are adorable chickens. They are. It's improving. I hope that the chenille kind of kicks it in, and then the end conclusion is going to be okay. The pattern was always meant for chenille. Why on earth did they provide us cheap acrylics? But of course, it's to keep the box itself cheap. But I mean, the price I paid for that box was ridiculously cheap. But it did get me back into crochet, so we could probably say that the €5 was worth it. I think it was less. I think it might just have been $3.99. I mean, whoa. Okay, the project that they felt really sells this yarn is, and let's go have a look. Okay. I'm not sold. I am not sold. Here we go. I mean, the free pattern included. It looks just to be a knit blanket back and forth. I do like how the colors pool, but I'm not sure if I would have mixed it with the reds though. And why would I knit a blanket? I think I'd rather crochet it, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not sold. I am not sold. I'm not sold. Jessica sent an email over chickens. Let's go see if we can find that email. If not in my inbox, I will be checking my spam for once. Oh, that was the wrong one. Well, I've not received anything yet. Meanwhile, I did get more spam mails. But I haven't gotten anything yet from you, Jessica. Where would it be if it's not in my spam? Or in my inbox? Maybe it just needs a few minutes to get here. Meanwhile, Lisa says she has to disappoint Susan because she got her birthday yarn yesterday. Ooh. Yeah, birthday yarns. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Somebody put so much work into that hideous Afghan knitting. That hideous Afghan, I mean. Crickets. I don't know, Jessica. I'm wondering where it is. I do have a bunch of emails again from the spam. I don't know. Is it worth making a video just going through the spam mails one gets when one have a web store being bombarded with people who wants to earn money on you? Could be worth it. I'll collect them a bit. Have a short, let's go through my spam mailbox. Da, 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 da. Two, 4, 6, 8. Did I miss stitches again? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Good. No, I didn't. I just didn't count right. Count all of them. Or did you send them on Instagram, Jessica? Email. Oh, I see. Now I have mail. I guess I just had to be patient for it to come in. Okay. Oh my goodness. Meanwhile, I did pop onto Instagram and I saw Red Teapot Atelier's absolutely freaking gorgeous shawl of the new design. Oh, let's just for funsies pop over there and have a look at it. I mean, ooh, wow. Right? That is gorgeous. That cake I have in my stash upstairs, so I could theoretically make a straight copy of this. The outer edge is the same as what I have on the inside here of the one I'm making. That's gorgeous. Now let's go find the emotional chickens from Jessica. They look like real emotional chickens. I like these. Ooh, here we go. Lisa says, I'm 43 rows into that shawl. Lisa, is it as pretty to make as the others of hers? I assume they are. We have a nice emotional chicken. And that's the best with the emotional chickens. We can use whatever yarn we need. And one, oh, it got eyelashes. Oh, they seem more like chickens than mine. Mine just seems like an egg with something that's supposed to look like a tail and some legs and some wings and a comb. I mean, these are cute. And I thought that they might have been knit, but no, these are crochet. I like them. They're cute. Maybe I need to get better at looking for a good emotional support chicken pattern. But as I said, my goal is still to make whatever chicken I have here in a couple of years with the chenille yarn, just to really check and confirm the fact that the pattern is hideous. No, it's not. It's skills. I mean, the black and blue is a rooster, so it's an emotional support rooster, right? It's not a chicken, it's a rooster. Important. Cutesies. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Made it for friend. It's always nice to gift your things away, especially when you know it's appreciated. That is definitely also where some of my stuff is heading, to appreciative people. Dee, dee, dee. Lisa confirms it's the same as her other patterns. I kind of expected so. They are very similar in her approach of things. So, yep, that is definitely. I think I did bookmark it already or favorite already on my Ravelry. I suspect I did. I mean, I have lots of things on that list. My inspiration list is huge. Yep, it's here. The Noon Chai tea shawl. And I have a few others listed too. At some time, attempt. Yeah. Sorry. Apparently that was needed. Maybe it's time to check that tea. It's been an hour. A bit more than an hour. As I said, it is a black Chinese tea with some rose petals. It could be a bit too sweet because I slipped an extra sweetener in by accident. So let's see. Yeah, it's definitely on the sweet side. That was an accident. But it's not too bad, given. It's not too bad. They look very technical, but her patterns are so well written that I think someone who's even novice could make them. Yeah, she makes some really nice written patterns for sure. And they look super intimidative. But they're definitely easier than you would think. 6, 8, 10, 11. Cracking it on. So today we have leftovers. We have a chicken curry for the leftovers. I made it yesterday. Of course, there is extra apple and pineapple in the sauce. I decided leftovers was probably gonna be a good thing. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. It's okay, Lisa. Please share a picture so we can live vicariously through you. I believe that is that for the birthday yarn, or is that for the noon chai tea shawl that she's currently crocheting, or both? We'd like to see both, of course. Today, Lisa's going to have Abel Mabel smoked pork chops. Oh, that sounds good. Baked potato and cream corn. Yep, I could definitely go and visit. If it wasn't because the dinner would be cold before I get there, but I mean, I wouldn't mind. That sounds delicious. So, if you have seen my decrease my stash video, and kind of gotten into the fact that it's not been super productive, but of course, a lot of the meters I've done is sitting right here, and they are not calculated into the whole system yet. But I mean, if I look what I've done here for the first 5 months of the year on average, and I look at the amount of yarn I have in my stash, instead of these like 11 and a half years, it's probably more like 17 years. And that just tells you how little I've consumed in 2026 compared to what I normally have done on average. So apparently I have been consuming less, even though I have been trying to subconsciously do more. But I hope that outlook changes. So if like I'll manage to do these in June, it would look closer to normal. Plus whatever else, of course, gets done. Do, do. £7 is love yarn. £17. Did I miss that somewhere? No. I'm talking about 17 years. And I'm not done stashing it all. That's just based, normally it's 11 and a half-ish. And based on my current average consumption in 2026, my stash would last me another 17 years if I keep that average going on. That's the scary one. I intentionally do it on based on average calculation on the like 2024 and 2025. So I do hope it means that I will have more crafting coming, if that makes sense. Because I mean, that sounds hideously bad. Oh, Lisa got £17 for her birthday. £17? Why did I miss that? Jeebus. Oh yeah, she did. It was scrolled away. Birthday ended up being 17 pounds of yarn. Bloody hell. Sorry for my confusion. Yeah, that is a lot of yarn, says the lady who has stashed a crap ton more, but I mean, that is a lot of yarn. Is that the Mary Maxim order you made, or Premier, or what was it again? I don't remember. 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Meanwhile, I used to get mails from Pleta saying, "Oh, we have a new sale. Would you like this yarn?" I was like, "Yeah, I would, but I don't want to pay for your shipping. And I'm not going to buy a crate of yarn that I currently definitely do not need." Because life is just an eternity tempting thing. Lisa sent photos. I will check as soon as we have done this half side of a tip. That's another few stitches. Hello from Minnesota. Well, hello to Minnesota from the Netherlands. I would be very wrong if I said I'm in Holland, because I'm not. I am in the Netherlands, and Holland is a region. It's a state, technically speaking, sort of a state. But 6, 8, 10, 11. It's a region. Holland is a region, but a lot of people call the Netherlands for Holland. I hope you're having a good morning, Lola. Meanwhile, I am gonna pop in to see all of that yarn that Lisa apparently got for her birthday. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Lisa says, hello neighbor, I'm just north of you in Canada. Kitty lovers unite. Also. Warm and sunny right now. Yeah, I heard you guys got it warmer. Here's the shawl in progress. I believe you still have a few rows to do. Lovely warm colors. Like those. And I spot yarns on the couch. Is this your craft room or your living room? Ooh, these are nice warm colors. Yarn. Yarn, yarn, yarn. That looks good. This looks like, almost looks like ice. Ice has some similar yarn. These are acrylics or not. Or it look like the yarn arts. Oh, what are they called? Not the rainbow. But it's I love these. These are gorgeous. These as well, actually. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Acrylic wool blend. I'm thinking ice yarns, to be honest. Oh, not ice. Ice yarns. Not maybe that one, but that's, by the way, a reasonably gorgeous pink. That's why I say, based on that pink, I thought my Milans were this what is it called again? because it is exactly a blend. It's an acrylic blend, acrylic wool blend. But maybe it will pop up if I just do acrylic, and then I'll pop down and see if I can see it. I don't remember the name out of my head, but I do know they have a similar here, or at least how the color fades. No, it's not here on this list. What is it named again? The one I'm thinking of. Let's try if it's under the wool then. Chapman is not the one, but it's kind of sort of similar. What is it named? I have them upstairs in my stash too. I mean, oh, merino yarn. Yummy, yummy. Hand-dyed superwash merino. This looks like really nice for hats. Not what I'm looking for. Now I want to shop ice. Not here either. Lanabella. Yes, that's the name I was looking for. Thank you, Lisa. You can read my mind. I was like, I know it, I can't find it. Here's the Lanabella yarns. Which is not exactly this, but very similar for sure. Yeah, this one could be that, right? Look here. Purples, pinks, browns. Purple, pink, browns. That's Lanabella. Yep. And I have these Lanabella also in my stash. Close preview. I have this one in my stash, the turquoise one. I have that one up in my stash. A full pack of 4. We haven't gone through that yarn yet, but we will. I don't see this shade there, but I think it's been there, so maybe it's sold out. Maybe it's sold out. These looks a bit like they're Angora cakes or something like that. What is it called again? Not Angora cake. It's, yeah. Ooh. You definitely got some nice colors there. Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Lisa's living room. Okay. Lisa cleaned up the Hirschner's back seal. She did. Hirschner's Millens. Yeah, some of the Hirschner's Millens are ice yarns. Yeah, I definitely think those were Lanabella. I have a really comfortable feeling some of those were Lanabella. And I also think I've seen the green orange shade ones in the Lanabella group at some stage. And else they also have them with yarn art. Yarn art also has them. I just need to find it. It needs to load. It's their ambience. Let me pop over here. This is Yarn Art's website. This one looks like the orange ones you have, the orange green ones. Let's pop back. These. This one looks a bit like that. Not completely, but close. So these are all Yarn Art's colors of the ambience. As you can see, if you look at some of these colors, you're like, yep, definitely ice. And if I'm not wrong, I might have this one in my stash, this light shaded one. It's also 20% wool, 80% acrylic. The same everything as the ice yarns. So, yep. But yeah, they're Turkish too, so I guess all goes along in a line. Some of them will be going to my daughter. They are her colors. Makes good sense. Do we think Janat is branded from Ice Yarn's factory? The real question is what's the factory and what's not the factory. But I have a good feeling that some of the yarn definitely are the same. So I see duplicates from yarn art in ice or ice and yarn art, so to say, as well as we see some for example, Lion brands. So there are definitely a factory somewhere in Turkey. Whoever owns it, who knows? But I mean, it's evidentially that it makes the same yarn, slashes different labels on them. Like there's zero doubt. She got the alpaca cakes. Bum bum. That's a New Ice website. I like these blues though, but it's not. Oh, okay. That comes really slow. All greens. It's a thinner yarn. 150 grams to 525 meters. 25% alpaca to 75% acrylic. Two-weight fine sport. 2 bolts in a pack. We also have the Cakes cotton. Cakes alpaca. That's new, I think. Yeah, because I have Cakes Angora, but not the Cakes alpaca. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oof. Send to me, please. But I don't want to pay import tax from Turkey right now. But I mean, that looks really gorgeous. What is this? This is a 3-weight. 25% alpaca, 25% wool, 50% premium acrylic. 100-gram cake to 310 meters. They're pretty short. 3 balls in a pack. But I mean, that's cute. Let's see. It's almost a 50% wool content. But I wouldn't know what to make of it right now. But I like the colors. Yeah. That looked gorgeous. Now I get in the mood to buy yarn. Oh no. It's a dangerous life that we live in. The world of ever temptations. 6, 8, 10, 11. 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 again. We are slowly getting closer to the end here. Not close enough, but we're definitely making progress. It got delivered in the middle of a storm. We got hit with a ton of rain yesterday. 92 centimeters. Holy crap! That is a lot of rain. It's been raining basically ever since last weekend here. Well, every day more or less, with a few days off, but almost every day we have had some kind of rain shower since Friday. Oh, 92 millimeters. It's still a lot, but I was like 92 centimeters. That's like the rain you'd get in a year or something like that. But still 92 millimeters is like a month's rain in a day. It's still a lot of rain. 6, 8, 10, 11. I'm getting really good at counting at 11 in this row. That, my friend, is a fact. The storm spawned tornadoes, not right at my house, but the clouds were very ugly. Oh my goodness. Has anyone heard about Crystal from Baco Day? I noticed she had put out a video, but I hadn't had time to see it yet, so I would say no. It sounds like I need to watch that one later. Four, 6, 8, 10, 11. Oh no, that's sad. It's her hands? But I mean, yeah, that's sad. I don't know what I would find something else to do, but at the same time, I would feel really, really frustrated if I couldn't anymore. Yeah, that's no good. But let's be happy for everything she did do. And then the question is if to what extent things can still be done. But I mean, let's generally be happy for what's been done. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. But yeah, that's a heavy choice. My goodness. But yeah, I'll have to give that a watch to get the update. But that's sad. that hook set you're using, is it really good? I am using, this is the Clover Soft Touch, and I personally like them. I have all the hooks in this series. I have a 4.5mm laying over here, which I'm working something else with. I like them. I think the yarn slides very nicely on the shaft here, or the hook bit. The only thing I'd love were if the shafts was just a centimeter longer, because it's kind of like on the edge of my hand. And I'm a knife grip holder. I think it would work also just as well if you're doing pencil grip in some way, shape, or form. But I think they work really nice personally. So I think it's a good hook for the price, because they're not insanely expensive. You can sometimes find some good prices on Amazon, for example. And if you don't need any hooks above 6mm, they're great, because the max size is a 6, I believe. You were looking at them on Amazon? I have more in here in my, let's see. I do think I might have one upstairs that's not in my kit bag. Okay, that was all I have in here. So that's my 3.75. I have a 3.25 in another project, plus my 4.5 is over there. Then I have a 5 and a 4. Here's the 6, the 5.5. I have a 3.5 and a 3. And I also have a 2.5, and that's upstairs. But I have them all, and I actually quite like using them. Compared to some of the others, especially those with the rubber grips, these grips kind of stay. They don't suddenly go loose. In comparison, so they remain set and snug. I've been working with them for, I don't know, 3 years maybe, 2.5, 3 years. And I wouldn't go back to something else. I rarely use hooks above 6mm. And I do have a few, and then I'll just deal with it for whatever project it is, that it's not gonna be these. But I personally think that they work really nicely through the yarn. The yarn slides nicely on these hooks. And that goes both for, this is a cotton acrylic blend. I also have 100% alpaca blend. I work in this that slides nicely over. They slide nicely through 100% cotton. Yeah, I think they're nice. But obviously it's a personal thing. Just because I like them doesn't mean that they work for you. But yeah. Take care of your body. Definitely, we need to take care of our bodies. That is why I have an appointment, 2 appointments even Friday, to take care of my body. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. One more is 11. 2.5, 3.5, and 5mm are my favorites. Well, then you're kind of set with these hooks, right? I got mine from Linda Hobby, which is a Danish website, when they were on sale. So I think I got them for like 30% discount or something like that, 20 or 30 or 25 or something like that. And then I just bought the whole set range. Rose says she's been expanding into yarn dyeing, so maybe she can transitioning her channel over to focus more on that and her other interests. One can hope that for her, because she's definitely made a fair success on the YouTube streets, right? So I wish that this is not then for her, both for the yarn community and selfishly a bit for me. She's definitely an inspiration. Proves it's possible. She said her doctor told her she shouldn't even be dyeing yarn, but she said she isn't going to stop that. Well, yeah, I guess to some extent, the doctors can keep telling us stuff. Also, did anyone else see MJ off the Hook's new yarn line from Mary Maxim? I saw on Instagram that she had indeed gotten a yarn line. But for me, it's a little bit like it's all the way over in the US. I can't procure it in any case, or if I will, then it costs me a fortune. So I didn't look further into it. It's my honest admission. My aunt and passionate my mom did look into yarn dyeing with sun and natural colors. So wool into a glass and you put some natural dye colors in. For example, if you would do a beetroot, that would be kind of like reddish, right? All sorts of things you could put in for natural yarn colors, flowers, whatever. Then you would put that with liquid into this closed bottle, just as you were canning things. You would place it in a window with sun for like 3 to 4 weeks, and then it would be dyed. But I mean, if one were to make a business out of that, you would need an awful lot of jars and patience, because holy smokes, that is a lot of time and some windows. Or in the summer, they could go outside in the sun, but still, I mean, yarn dyeing is not really an option for me in any case, because you need more room to be able to dye, to dry, not to dye, but to dry it afterwards. I don't have that much space here. Amazon has a sale for $6.78. Yeah, well, it's not a bad price. That's not a bad price. I think for the price you pay for these Clover soft touch hook, that they're good hooks. It does look when you're on Amazon that they have a few dupes, so do make sure it's the real Clover ones, or at least that they look like they're the real Clover ones. I believe. Clover soft touch. Oh, they're cheap here. €4.50 even. Hey, I was just visiting Amazon, but I mean, these look fine because they have the Clover logo in the photo and so on. They also come in a thinner needle, but then they changed in color, the hook. And I don't know if they slide as easy through the yarn, but they're fine. That's a 6mm. It's a little bit more expensive. But I mean, they're like somewhere between €4 and €6 usually here. And these looks to be a good price. Various prices depending on, but I mean, this looks like Clover Soft Touch, but isn't. This is a wannabe set. They look like them, but it's not the same. You can even see when I look at mine, how can I say that best? But if you look at this, if you look on the right side where I increase them, you can actually see some scratches and so on the metal. And they're not supposed to look like that. The metal here is too shiny. So this is a wannabe clover. It's not clover. They look like clover, exactly copy almost. But they aren't clover because, well, they aren't. If I take my hook all the way up here, if I could get it to sort of focus my camera, see? This hook I've been using for, I don't know how long. It's 3.75, at least for a period of time. It's not my most used hook, but still, it's recently used. It has no metal scratches at all on it, and it's not as shiny. My 4.5mm, I definitely used more, and it has no, it's the same. It's not, it does have, depending on how the light falls on it, a shine, but you don't see metal scratches on it. Also, at the bottom here, it's indented. It says Clover Japan. So they're a Japanese brand. Popping over there, there is no in the bottom here saying Clover Japan. So this is not originals. And when it's not originals, I will not speak for if they're good or not. That is a, well, for the price, I guess it's an okay price to pay for a set. But I mean, I'm not going to be the one to say, oh, that's perfect, if that makes sense. And these are probably the same. So there is like some wannabe clovers, but I mean, if we take this one, which is 2.75, even though I've tried to zoom in on the photo, at the bottom you can feel that it's written something on them. So this is an original clover, and it's also in a clover pack. So just make sure it's in a clover pack, you should be fine. Because on Amazon there are definitely enough of these wannabe, so they make them look like them. They make the product look like, but it's not. It's just a cheap China make. And cheap China makes can be really good, but you may also risk that they are indeed not the same, and you will be disappointed. Four, 6, 8, 10, 11. None of us need more yarn. Nope. Except Lola. She needs more yarn. Needles can be a trial and error game. Very valid. Susan suggests Lola to join a knitting group and ask if anyone has the needles, then you can borrow and have a test of them. Susan's library group has a big stash of straight needles. Oh, that's awesome. Reuse and thrift shops often have low-cost supplies also. I prefer Clover and More hooks. Heard a bunch of Clover and More, but I've actually never tried them. That's probably my next attempt at something. But as I said, I do genuinely actually like these, so I'm not really inclined to change because I'm just happy with what I have. And Susan says there are lots of knockoffs that could be just fine. Exactly. So I'm just making sure that buying knockoffs can risk you get something great for cheap, or can risk you getting something cheap for cheap, which is not as great. But yeah, that's my advice. So the normal Clover ones are great, I think personally. But if the knockoffs are as great, I don't know. I'm using Clover more right now, but only because my favorite hook isn't the right size I need. Yeah, that is also a possibility. Clover has a matte finish, but they are Teflon coated. Oh, that's maybe why I feel it like that they slide so nicely. I don't know. They do slide nicely. My watch tells me I need to get up and move. Should I stand up and crochet? Would probably be good for me, actually. Thanks for the head ups. Almost bought the wrong ones. You're welcome. I mean, the Clovers, they're usually somewhere between, in euros, it's like 4.5 to 8 euros, depending on the size and seller and so on. I would be suspicious for anything less than $4 per hook. But I just wants more hooks because I keep leaving them in my projects. Well, yeah, I try to only have projects going on in one hook size at a time, but not always possible. Four, six, oh, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I'm trying to remember what hook size you for that one, but I think that's also a 4.5 millimeter, which is just laying there waiting for me to find time, which is probably going to be after I finish this shawl. I can never remember what hook size I was using when I'm going back to it. Color mark stitch markers and have certain colors meaning a size is also an option. Right now, Jessica is using a 2.5 millimeter hook from Millward, England. Ooh. That is definitely lace work when you're sitting with a 2.5. Yikes. I mean, I could work this yarn in a 3.5, but I decided to do the 3.75 to get a little bit more drape to it. So it's sort of intended. Two, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Maybe I actually should listen. I feel like I need to stand for a bit. So what are we gonna do? We are gonna pop over here. Then we'll pop you guys with me a bit. And I'm just gonna get up for a minute or two. Because indeed, oh my goodness. Whew. Oh, I do tend to get a little bit, what is it called? Stiff in my legs, especially when we're doing these long streams. So I do apologize, but you can see me crochet still. I mean, this is actually not bad to get up for a bit. So I'm just gonna do, let's see, another tip or two, but standing is a good thing, I think. Just for a short minute. Oh no, my yarn is doing funky. Meanwhile, I think, looking at the time today, that we will have a color change. Except We won't. We will have a cake change. But I mean, look. Well, it's better and it's too bright with the... I need to sort of block for the light. But we are changing away from the one stripe coral, which goes into, I do think it's like light peach or something like that. So it is going brighter, but we first have 2 more cakes of this to work onto it first. That means that maybe when, or maybe before I'll sit, no, I shouldn't. I need to cut that yarn first. That's easier. But yeah. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. And we'll just move up to the next tip. And then I'll sit back down. It is windy outside. And the sun is now shining. Ooh. Good. So we are gonna sit down again. Ah, that was actually not bad. A little leg stretcher is good. Yep. Let's pop back down for you guys to keep following. There we are. It's not a star blanket, but it feels like a star blanket because of all those tips. But it is a shawl once we're done. And what I can do, once we hit the end, we can get a new show before going to the next. But it's a huge shawl basically. But let's see. Is this the front side or the back side? It's the back side. That means to show, we need to move the cake over here. Because else you don't get the front side of it. And it's going to be easier like this. Okay, so you have a heart center of the shawl. And I see the coloring is a bit funky today, but heart center. And then basically it moves to a big fringe, which is probably easier if we go back here. Sorry for the lesser quality. It is my regular webcam and not the fancy webcam. But yeah, it's turning into a shawl, basically. Ta-ta! And we have lots of yarn to go. Of course, I'm working 3 cakes into this. So it's huge. It's like 3,000 meters of yarn, which is like 3,270 yards, approximately. I mean, that's a lot. There's a link to the pattern of this shawl in the description box down below. The pattern is able to be purchased on Ravelry. And it requires a thinner yarn. So like a 2-weight yarn, or maybe you could probably also work it with lace weight. It would just be a little bit smaller. But yeah, it's not a difficult pattern at all. As long as you read the instructions and follow the written pattern, then it's simple enough. You know, I think it does have a few other stitches, but most of the stitches used here are double crochets and chains. 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Lisa says, I don't know if you saw it, but the Ultimate Sacrifice pattern is available again on Etsy. Oh, that's awesome. I think she actually moved it all from Ravelry to Etsy. But yeah, indeed, I noticed that they were available again. I have a few Ultimate Sacrifices. One is going to go to a friend. I still need to block that one. I need to get going on that. But the problem is, right now I have so many other things I also need to do. So blocking isn't exactly on my priority list. That is me being bluntly honest. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Lola likes to work with smaller yarns, just not the ones that are slippery feel to them. So you mean more like the bamboo types, because that's kind of like shiny, slippery feel. I have a cotton silk yarn from Yarn Kit that I bought from Amazon. Cotton silk can be slippery. Doesn't have to be, but can be. Lisa's in the same boat as me. She has a bunch of blocking to do, but have been ignoring it. And then, of course, we have Rev, who just doesn't block at all because he likes the projects to flow wherever the projects land. But I mean, some of mine will just look better when blocked. So it's just a question of me putting myself together and doing it. Hard to hold on to, yeah. Rev says blocking is for cowards. Joking. Well, it's a good thing you said joking because I would be like, you are offending me. 6. I do not consider myself a coward. Nope, nope, nope. I consider myself absolutely ready for fight. I've been avoiding blocking a curtain I made because it will be a pain. 17 inches by 44 inches. Lola, that's why this shawl, when I'm gonna block this one, I will do it in 2 parts because it can't be on the mats I have. It's just physically impossible. And depending on, I may wet it all and then like put them on the mats, but in this case I will likely do the half and I will spray on the water and wait for it to dry, which is a good time of the year. I mean, it's warm. 10, 11. I don't block because once laundered they need to be blocked again. That is true. to some extent. I don't do it to prevent folds. I do it to stretch the stitches, and I still think that is often still seen if it's been in the laundry. So it kind of depends. And hang it up is also a good suggestion. If you have a clothing rack long enough, I mean, I potentially have one where I could do one of my projects, and that's actually not a bad idea. Ooh, I have an idea, but I would need to hang some sort of weights in them. That I don't have. I wash and air dry. Mine lays flat to dry on the blocking mat. I think it's also just at least to get the photos, you know, like when people receive it, they could decide themselves what to do. We are getting closer to the cake change, my friends, and closer to the end of this row, which means that we will start row 51 today. Ooh. I'd like to do for funsies when we're done with this row also just to calculate how many stitches was this row 50. If it's an acrylic or acrylic blend, if you steam block it, it sets the acrylic permanently, so you only need to lay flat to dry after laundering. Yep, steam block I do have available. More as a random gift. And it's not my steam blocker, it's actually my partner's. He got it as a gift. As a bonus gift. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Yeah. So I did steam block, for example, the Crochet shawl, which is this Christmas shawl that I made in, well, it's 2 years ago now, 3 this December. It's my Christmas shawl basically, and that is made in a acrylic blend, acrylic polyester. The polyester is the shine in it, but mainly acrylic. Very thin yarn. It's like a one weight. I steam blocked that, and that definitely made it look even nicer. And that's just filet crochet even. "100% wool and 100% cotton are air dry. The blends can tumble on low for a short time and then hang or dry, lay flat. Its loops and threads looks merino wool blend." Yeah, wool I would not put in the dryer. That can become small. That can shrink. I mean, I once put a wool blend in the laundry machine. I had washed the socks. I had crocheted a pair of socks. They're still upstairs. Never worn them actually, so that's kind of sad. But I crocheted a pair of socks successfully. And I followed the pattern, but they ended up being a little bit too big, at least 1 or 2 sizes. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna frog this to figure out how I can make them smaller. So I threw them into the washing machine. They were definitely still too big, and then throw them into the laundry machine. Not the laundry, sorry, in the dryer. And I was like, okay, there's 2 options here. It will still be too big, 3 actually, or it will fit, or it will be too small. If it's too small, who cares? If it's too big, it's not meant to be for me either. And it fit perfect. So that was my lock. It did shrink, but just perfect. I recommend to not attempt that, because that is, my friends, a risk. Works great in the dry if you want dull clothing. Ah, sweet, sweet. Oh, we have a warning for thunderclouds. Wonderful. I'm going to check that. Ooh, yeah. Code yellow for thunderstorms. Yeah, that's definitely a potential thing for today. Not very practical given that I have to be on the road later, but yeah, that's just how it is. Oh yeah. Superwash wool is machine washable. It is, but it's not machine dryable, because that was with the superwash wool that I shrinked. If you make 10 times bigger than you need, then maybe it will work out. Yeah, that's a possibility too. I once had bought this lovely woolen sweater when I was younger. I was still like maybe my end teens. And by accident, I washed it. No, I didn't wash it by accident. That was fine to go in the washing machine as long as it was like a gentle cycle and 30 degrees. So that's like 85 degrees Fahrenheit. But I should never have put it in the dryer. But Stina did not know. Stina had access to a dryer and she didn't want to hang up all the clothes. That was the first time I didn't live at home. It shrank size-wise. So I ended up giving it to my, what is she? 9-year younger cousin, because it was fitting her. I mean, she was around 10 at the time. And I learned my lesson. I always put my knit socks in the washer and dry, except one pair that's an alpaca blend. Oh, I'm surprised that they don't shrink then. Or maybe mine was just, maybe it was meant to be. That could also be. The pattern just didn't say. After you have finished this, you should wash and dry in the dryer. Yeah. Crocheted with a 3mm hook. I have them upstairs, the socks. If you want me to, I'll try to remember and I'll show them next week in next week's live. Because Friday, I am here with the yarn talk video. And I've kind of been looking a bit at everything and I was like, oh, maybe I could reach to go live. But now with an extra appointment that I got Friday morning, I won't do that. I will just come with the yarn talk video. 10, 11. Then Monday, we're sorting more of my yarns for Revelry. And then Wednesday, of course, I'll be back with another live, as well as a Friday next week is the plan. Did I count here? 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. When I used to work at dry cleaners, it really helps us people if people would tell us what the materials are made of or keep the labels. I imagine, yeah. Susan asks me how much more of my stash is not in Ravelry. Give me one moment. So there's the one that's coming on Monday, which is going to be my American yarns. That's not a lot, so that's just a small box. Then I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, probably like 15 to 17 more boxes and stuffs, bags. I feel a bit like Yarn Geek from Ginger. She also has everything in bags and boxes and out and not out, and it's a pile of a mess. She's moving around all the time. Except this time I'm actually getting a physical overview. Some of it is lots of cakes, some of it is regular skeins. But I still have a fair bit to go through. 8, 10, 11. And then from this, I did not include all the yarns in my scrap stash thing. I do have a few cottons I'm gonna go through to see if I can maybe sort away half the ends. If I'm 50%, about maybe a bit less. I think I'm maybe 35, 40 is probably more accurate. But that doesn't say anything about weight / yardage. That's just box wise. Scraps don't count for stash. Nope, 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 they don't. They don't, they can't. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. They can't. That's not good if they would. But I have a few things that I definitely need to go through and then potentially do differently. But I think that they should be in my scrap rather than put on Ravelry, because they're like half skeins and I'm not really going to be bothered registering half a skein on Ravelry. I've decided that that's going to be counterproductive. It just goes in my scrap pile, depending, of course. But I mean, if I have half a skein of cotton, it's not like I can use it for a lot. 8, 10, 11. So I'd probably just put them in that. Susan agrees, and Susan keeps her yarn by weight. I keep them by brand and style and sort of. So all of my Hobby Twister cakes is the same as the Yarn Art Flowers. I keep all those together, but I have enough that I have 2 boxes of them. 2 boxes. And I think we even did them twice also in this one, when we were going through them. Or did we do them in one? I don't remember anymore. But I mean, that's a lot. I want to, so I do pre-record them, of course. And I want to see if I can manage to do more of the pre-recording so I have a much better overview of everything. Within the next couple of months, that I'll be able to pre-record them a little bit quicker than I physically post the videos. Gives me a little bit more airspace to other things, even though that right now when I do that, it will take a bit more time, if that makes sense. I separate 100% cotton and 100% wool. Yep, that makes sense. Lisa says I need to reorganize my yarn storage. After I destashed it, it isn't organized very well. Get organizing. My yarn feels organized. I have a good idea of where I have the yarns, etc. My problem is I don't have like a long-term overview of it, because I have a good idea of what I have, but I don't know it 100%, if that makes sense. And that is why I want to put it all on Ravelry. And my challenge for myself is to keep it updated as I use the yarn. So my stash from Ravelry will decrease once I finish this Heart Collectors, because this yarn is already stashed on my Ravelry. So this is actually physically going away from my Ravelry. Yay, yay, yay. I see the cake change coming up. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea of the Ravelry thing, is to like know exactly what I have and not just I think I have, and then have to look through it all. And it hopefully also helps motivating me a bit to keep going on decreasing that stash and not just shopping yarn, because it is easy to shop yarn, very easy to shop yarn. So I'm not completely at the end, because that is very closey. I just have a few more stitches, but look here. Color change. Except we're not changing colors, because I have 2 more cakes we need to work on. So we need to find my scissors. My scissors. And we are cutting this yarn, my friends. Cut, cut. Choo choo. Oh, this is how it now looks. Oopsie daisy. That's going to go into this box. And we have a new box with the other yarns. Doesn't matter which we take from it. Just to compare, this is the color change between the two. That's the difference between one light and one brighter color. If that makes remotely sense. Yeah. It's a little bit too light, the light I get from my lamp, I'm sorry. So it shines more than it should. Can we somehow overshadow it? Like that? That's probably more approximate, but still. There's a clear difference. This is a light one, and that's a dark one. So this one goes into my box. And we'll find it in once I am ready. This box goes on top now. Then once this one is done, we'll add the last cake I have, and that last cake will change into the next color. But they are definitely smaller than they have been. Much smaller. What are we, halfway through, maybe? That's why I'm doubt if I'll manage to have it done by the end of June. I mean, it's 4 weeks. But as we get smaller on the size, of course that gets smaller too. So maybe we will succeed. How did I start this one? How did I start? Double crochets, and then the last one is 3. Okay. Rev claims to be 90% organized. I generally do by brand, but I have a couple of junk totes for random ones that he got from mystery boxes. Lisa says it's not messages, not really cohesive. Mine is, well, it makes, like, I have the same type of yarns together, if that makes sense. So by this I mean like if it's a if it's like Twister Cakes sticks with Twister Cakes, and Cotton King Sultan with Cotton King Sultan, and 8 cottons with 8 cottons, and yeah, that is definitely my system. Brands stick together when possible, not all time, because I do have a few lucky bags too. But generally, that's how it goes. Like, I try to keep things a bit organized. They are in different boxes, and I don't remember the full how many did I have of that and stuff like that always. I do have a good idea of a few of the things I have and what I want to do with them and so on. But again, not with everything. We'll need 3 double crochets in the last stitch here. Then it is time to look at what's next. If that helps, my stash is all full weight acrylic. That does help for keeping order, I guess. Lisa says most of yarns are 2 to 3 weights, but I have everything from 1 to 6 weight. I would really like to go through and organize it by weight, but I have a cup storage system and then a couple of different ways of storing yarn too. Same. Well, bags, boxes, received yarn in, but there was more the room for the yarns or squeezed more together and stuff like that. So it's organized in my own little system, but it could be better organized. Lola has different yarn weights and go by weight. Lisa says, maybe I'll get reorganized this week and I can do a tour pick next week. No promises though. I wish I just had a room for all my yarn. I could definitely make a whole yarn room. I just don't physically have the space for making a yarn room. Sob. Okay, we turn our work and we'll stack some single crochets. Ta-ta. And we have to get 2 more in. And reading this correctly, it is an increase row. How many stitches are we gonna have here? Math time. Stina wants to know how many stitches are there now in row 51. A lot. Okay, so there's 45 double crochets per side, excluding 29 points with, I should probably do this differently, 29 multiplied by 12 plus 12 plus 2 is 26. Yeah, and then there's a 45 on top. 3 sets of 6. So 3 times 6 is 18. And then a point with 14, 14, 2, which is 28 is 30. Holy crappy loney. Multiplied by 2 sides. Right now in this row we're about to start, there is 1694 stitches. But I mean 1694 stitches. If anyone is in doubt, 1694 stitches in row 51. I mean, holy smokes. I will see you on the other side. Okay, we'll flip this around. Oh my goodness. That's like 1700 stitches. No wonder it's taking forever to get around. Whew, 1600 stitches. My world is colliding here. That is a lot. I need to move stuff around anyway to get all this yarn put away. Well, that makes good sense because you got 17 pounds of yarn, darling. You need to make space for it and put it away in a logic place and figure out what yarn you're giving to your daughter because it's more her color. I wouldn't mind being your daughter. I mean, getting yarn, sure. Lisa says, "Girl, that's insane." It is, and it's not the biggest row yet. This is an increase row. So after increasing this, so row 50 was shorter because this row increases by. Um, it increases by 29 on each side by 2 is 58 times 2 plus the tip is also 2 extra. So that's 60. That's 120 stitches in this row we increase from the previous row, which is still insane. So in perspective, you guys understand now why it takes a day to finish a round, right? I mean, that's a lot. And it's almost all exclusively double crochets, with except from of the chains. It's chains and double crochets. And then the start of the row I stacked 2 singles. I mean, give me a break. And I only decided to focus so badly or hardly on this because we want to block it when I'm home alone that first weekend in July. The reason I'll be home alone then is because that is when the Dutch Championships is there and my partner will be there for the whole event. He is helping in the score registration system. While I haven't decided if I'll be competing yet, even though if I would compete, I would only have to go there Sunday. And if I will compete, that kind of depends a little bit on one of the appointments I'll have Monday, if I want to attempt it or not. 4, 6, 8. Jesus, I need to count. It's too long to keep the needle in. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 4, 6. That fits. Yay! I'm a generational enabler. Before I had money for yarn, my mom gave me yarn, and now I do it for my daughter. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I guess I'm doing it opposite because I buy yarn and give it to my mom and say, I'd like to have this now. But that's new. A couple of years ago, it would be opposite. I would be like, oh, mom, I'd love to have this. And she would buy the yarn and she would gift them to me for Christmas presents and stuff like that. I have some amazing sweaters she's knit for me that I would really love to be able to wear again. Right now, I feel that I need to lose weight before that they will be a nice fit. I do maybe have a photo somewhere of one of them on my phone. Maybe I can upload it to my computer if you want to know how they look like. I should do that for you guys. That would be fair. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see if I can find the photo. It's a long, long time ago. I can still remember. How long was it ago? That was in 2020, I think. Yeah, that was skinny times. So that's sent to my computer. The more my eyes go cross, the more I cuss. By 60 by 60 blanket and chevron made me cussing a lot. Only made 2 of those so far. I try to don't do blankets ish. Okay. Can we? No, we couldn't. Okay. I closed it down by accident. Now I need to get it back up. Open, please. We will do it differently then. We will transfer it and we will go in here. They can actually be removed because the photos isn't on the computer. And we can add this one and say sweater. And we can find it. Yep, that's the one. Oh, we can actually increase a little size here. Oh, that's sweet. Okay, then we close down that one and we'll pop on this. Look! My mom knits me sweaters. And that was back when I still had a half decent weight compared to today. I mean, that's about almost 20 kilos ago. Jesus. I'd love to go back to that size. And I still have it upstairs. And I'm really happy with it. I have multiple in different colors. She made them all. And I hope she tells me where that pattern is laying in the event that I would want to attempt it myself one day. The sweater has been designed for me, so it's based on another design which I really enjoyed, and they do go like tip pointed down both on the sleeves as well on front and back, so they are like a V-stitch pattern thing, and it's made in a sock weight yarn, like so it's 2 weight. So, and wool mostly. It's actually also sock yarns ish type that's used for it. I think I have 4 of them, maybe, that she's done over time. But they're all the same size, but I'm not. So that would be really wonderful if I would throw those kilos away and fit these sweaters again. That is my dream right now, at least. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yep. So we designed those, and she found a similar pattern that was similar to, and we just adapted the pattern to fit exactly what I wanted, basically. So she is amazing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Could be cool to kind of write it and make it all sizes, etc., and then maybe offer it for sale or something like that. But I'm not sure if I'm keen on attempting to write a knitting pattern in English. That sounds like a challenge to me. But maybe it's not too bad. I'm asked if I ever wear my hair down. Very rarely. It's usually braided or up in a bun or something like that. I wore it down back when I had short hair. Do I actually have a photo of me with short hair is the next question. Do I have a photo of me with shorter hair? I may. But that's 10 years ago. Shorter hair is 10 years ago. Even my Instagram is long hair. Or not Instagram, LinkedIn is long hair. Oh my goodness. I wonder if this photo would do. No. This one is better. But the quality shit. And there's too many people on it, which I would not be so keen to throw on the internet. Yeah, do I actually have photos of myself with short hair? I don't know. Which is not related to my sport. That's a real challenge here. So in 2017, I decided to grow my hair long again. That's scary. I have so few photos, which is not actually. And I've had long hair for so long. Goodness gracious. You really gave me a task here. Oh, there's a photo of me with short hair. I'm just gonna grab that one down and share with you guys. Give me a moment. I need to make room for it. Because you wanted to know. But again, now we're talking, this photo is how young am I not? This is in 2016. This is 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I had my hair down because it was short. Look. But I don't have it down after it's gone long because I guess it's because I don't like it in my neck, because my neck often then feels warm. I like when there is air for my neck, if that makes sense. So that's the reason for me rarely to have my hair down. I prefer having it up because I don't like it sticking to my neck. And here on the back side, which you don't see in this photo, is that I actually have a short bob line. So it is like from the hair edge, and it goes like up. Yeah, fun facts. But I had short hair on that photo. It's 10 years old. That's how I looked. Ta-ta. I did manage to find a photo. 2016. Can't even believe that. December 2016. So 9.5 to be more exact, but still. A long, long time ago. A part of me still misses those short hair times. It's in that sense, it's easier, but it's short. Long hair is also easy because I don't need to worry about going to the hairdresser once a month. Because that's the downside of short hair. You need to constantly go to the hairdresser to keep it in the right shape. And I was almost dependent on having a hair blower. Now, if I go somewhere and I don't have a hair blower, I'll just make a braid. Thank you, Lola. Thank you, Susan. So yeah, I guess that's kind of the explanation for things. Yes, long hair is super low maintenance. Well, it depends on how long it is, of course, because if it gets to a certain length, it's a lot of maintenance. But I mean, the length I have now is pretty good for maintenance. Which is right now put up again in whatever. It just makes life easier. Part of me miss short hair, part of me don't. Short hair was a different path. Past 6, 8. Wait. I'm doing this wrong. I'm not increasing. I need to frock. I need to frock. I didn't do enough stitches. For cricket's sake. I need to do 2 in the center, not 1. Luckily, it was only 3 tips. So it's only like 30 to 40 stitches, but still, better than the whole row. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. It should be 12. 12, 12, 12. 1 double crochet in the next. 10 plus 2 is 12. 10 plus 2 is 12, Gina, not 11. Whew. I mean, we'll catch up on what I just frocked. That's probably it for today. Damn it. Was not paying attention. I was not paying attention. Lisa says my hair is to my shoulder blades, but if I want to wear it down, it's a lot of work. It's quite curly. Yeah, that's a challenge with curly hair. Mine is just sleek and fine, and I call it princess hair because it's like thin and there's a lot of it. But long hair costs more at the saloon for color and cuts. Costs the same. I don't know if they charge more for color, but I don't color my hair at all. For cuts, it's the same. I haven't seen deviation prices at my hairdressers. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Lola also had to undo a row in my 12-star blanket because too many stitches in the row beneath it. Oh, ouch. Well, I was missing stitches in this one. I was not paying attention. I was just going on what we just did the row before. And before starting on the row, I was making you guys very aware. Oh, it's an increased row. Let's count the stitches, which is almost 1700. I'm like, yeah. Do I even want to know how many stitches there is in this blanket when I'm done? I don't think so. It's not like I'm gonna get paid €1 per stitch, right? No. I would be rich then. Meanwhile, Lisa just finished a pattern repeat. Yeah, hallelujah. Minnesota, they charge more for longer hair. That's ridiculous. I mean, I think that's rude because hair is hair. It's the same when they charge more to cut female hair than they do to cut male hair, which I also think is ridiculous. It should be the same price. Lola is working on a free-lay pattern with cats. Ooh. Susan is asking if I have a buyer for this shawl. I don't. Right now, I think I might end up keeping it unless somebody is saying, oh, we would like to buy it off you and I'm happy to pay heaps. I mean, the amount of time I've put into this. I feel with this like I feel with Fleur. I'm not sure if people is willing to pay the actual value. Because if you just take yarn price alone, that's not too expensive. But the hours and hours I've used on this, I'm not sure if I could. For the right price, I would. 8, 10, 12. For the right price, I would definitely sell this one. Yes. But I don't think I would put it on my web shop unless I need to desperately clear out space and I don't have other things that would sell and stuff like that, then maybe I would. But I think it's just going to go in my closet. And then either the right buyer comes along, which would be awesome, but I don't think people is willing to pay for those type of efforts. But I would be open for it. For the right price, everything's for sale, right? Oh, I need one more. One more stitch. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Longer hair takes more time. Yeah, to some extent valid. They wash and blow dry your hair before cutting it. Oh. Yeah, okay. Here in the Netherlands, if you have washed your hair from home, you don't need to pay for getting it washed. So it's cheaper. There was another salon where it was including the wash. So I always, like, when I went there, I would be like, yeah, do the wash, because it's nice. The new one I go to, the other one closed down. They charge extra for washing, so you pay, I don't know, $4 or $5 extra just to have your hair washed. And I'm like, yeah, but I wash it in the morning when I get up, so why would I now pay for getting it washed again 5 hours later? No, no. No need. So they just sprinkle it with water and cut it, basically. The wash and dry is included in the price and process. Yeah, okay. So here they have two different prices, the one with and one without the wash. And then I go cheapskate. It feels expensive enough already, which is probably reasonable compared to many others. But I mean, last time I went there, I think it was like 30 some odd euros. So that's like, what's that in dollars? It's probably $35 or something like that to get my haircut. And it takes them no more than 15-20 minutes. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We are done for today. Even the guys get their hair washed beforehand. That's nice for them. So we still need the yarn on this side, but we are going to have a show tail. So what are we going to do? We're going to pop up here, close that one down over here. Look, the colors is much better now. I think it's because it went so dark that we were so dependent on the fake light I have in this room. Because I mean, I felt that everything was a bit like reddish toned at some stage. And I think it was because it was so dark outside, because it's much lighter outside now and the colors look much better on the screen. So evening colors would be horrendous. Okay. Where are we at? Yeah, that's the right side. We need to put my chair aside because there's not enough room to show this pretty beast. And that is, my friends, what soon 1700 stitches is going to look like when we are around. Ooh. We will definitely need to do something outside on a bit of more of a distance to get a really good view. And as you can figure out already just by this side size, I definitely need to like double block it. So what I will do is here in the center all the way down, you basically have the same gap running down, and I'll center block that, and then that would be my center, and then I stretched out one side, and then afterwards I do the other side. That would be my approach to this block, because else, my friends, it's not possible, or I need more blocking mats, and I already have like what, 18 of them. So I do have a decent amount. I do have a decent amount. Have a good week, everyone. Thank you, Rev. Have a good weekend as well. Susan is loving the lighter edge. Me too, and it's getting better as we go along. Take care of aerial photography by the end of this show. I will definitely lay it out flat and do an aerial something, or get out with a nice natural background and hold it up. I'll do something for sure. Trust me, trust me. So everyone, this is my last live this week because, yeah, real life stuff. I have I have appointments tomorrow. I have appointments Friday. Plus, I have work and everything on. So on Friday we have a yarn talk video. If everything goes well, it's probably a short one because it's mainly Heart Collectors. Then on Monday we're going through my American yarns. Then on Wednesday I'm live at the normal regular time unless something crazy happens. Friday we have another live, and that's kind of how it's looking for this and the coming week. Thank you so much for watching. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Yes, drone footage is gonna be a requirement for this one for sure. Love you all. Take care. Happy crafting until see you either in another live or another video. Yeah. Bye. And stay stitchy and crafty.